So OpenAI just launched something pretty insane. GPT-4o now has native image generation. This isn't your typical type a prompt, get a pic kind of deal. This is native image generation. That means the model itself, GPT-4o, is generating the image as part of its reasoning process. So instead of sending your prompt off to a separate image model like DALL-E, it's all happening right inside GPT-4o. It understands your text, reasons about it, and creates the image all in one go. To give you a sense of why this is so game-changing, here's probably the craziest demo we've seen so far of this model in action. Check this out.
My name is Kenji Hata, and I work on multimodal research here at OpenAI. There's a level of attention to detail that is just not captured by other models. The first thing I'm going to show is like 15 different objects, and each one of them has unique attributes that make it very different from all the other objects. An image containing 1, a blue star, a red triangle, 3, green square, 4, pink circle, 5, orange hourglass, 6, purple infinity sign, 7, black and white polka dot bow tie, 15 different objects. And basically what this will show is that this image will just nail pretty much every single one of these objects that I've defined. Previous iterations, DALL-E, Imagine, things like that, they would probably get somewhere on the order of like maybe 5 to 8 of these at most. It nailed it all. With increased level of detail, you can just specify what you have in your mind to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will understand you better and then generate that image. And it'll be just a very direct mapping from what's in your mind to what you see on the screen. All these image generators nowadays, they look good, but are they useful? And like attention to detail makes it really, really useful.
Pretty impressive, right? I mean, like he said, there isn't an image model out there that's gonna get all these right. Now, another thing GPT-4o native image gen does really well, and I've been seeing this all over X, is restyling. You can upload an image and have it transformed into basically any style you want. In this example, she takes a rough cartoon sketch on paper and turns it into a crisp, colorful comic literally in seconds. And it doesn't stop there. You can even edit specific parts of the image. Here, she replaces the dragon with a penguin, and the model nails it. Character consistency is another big strong point for GPT-4o, and we'll get to more of that in a second, but first, I've got to show you some of the wild restyling happening on X right now. For some reason, everyone's turning their images into Studio Ghibli anime style, and it actually looks really good. You might recognize some of these images. These are famous memes that have been completely restyled by GPT-4o's native image gen. One user even took a real-life photo of him and his wife at the beach, and of course, turned it into a full-on Ghibli scene. That post went viral, and suddenly everyone was doing the same thing. Even Sam Altman joined in on the fun and asked the community to create him a new profile picture for X using GPT-4o. Just scrolling through the replies, yeah, a lot of them are hilarious, but honestly, most of them actually look really good. Like, even though they're meant to be funny, the diversity of style and artistic quality is kind of insane. You've got everything from hyper-realistic portraits to abstract anime styles to straight up memes, and it's all generated by the same model. Now, this brings us to the next demo I wanted to play for you guys. This demo is about character consistency, but it kind of goes beyond that. Take a look.
I'm David Medina, or DMed, and I work on multimodal. What I want to show is one of my favorite prompts, which is, can you create a low poly penguin mage? Make it very, very low poly. Surprisingly, it's sometimes hard to get very good low poly outputs. It's not like other image generation models where it tries to generate something based on just the text. Instead, it uses the large language model understanding of what does the user want, what is the intent. I also like some board games, so miniature-like games. So what I'll do now is generate a miniature from this. So ideally, we'll see a penguin that looks like this with the same staff and a hat. So can you make me a realistic miniature as if a professional made this and painted it? This is what I think excites me the most about ImageGen. The other image generation models will try to create literally what you said, but what's special about this is, one, it'll keep the context of this character, and then two, it'll understand what I'm trying to ask it for and generate very similar model, but in a miniature realistic style. It infers what I want. I don't have to tell it every little detail. One other realistic thing we could do is, can you make a crystal version of this with light reflecting and very realistic? Again, I'm just giving a very, very simple thing. Normally, this is not enough for other models to generate something very detailed, but the model understands what I'm asking for. It'll think what type of style it should have. So this ability to really understand what the character is and make edits and understand what the user wants, for me, it's just an amazing capability.
So, I'm not too familiar with the whole graphic design space, but I can tell this is going to be a major disruption. I mean, they even show that you can generate images with transparent backgrounds and download them straight to your computer. That means you can create high-quality logos, character assets, UI elements, basically anything without ever touching Photoshop. And the crazy thing about this is that anyone can do it. You literally just tell the model what you want, like you're talking to a human graphic designer, and it just gets it. So one thing we haven't really touched on yet, although we saw glimpses of it in the earlier demos, is text generation within images. Now, this is something that most image models really struggle with, especially when it comes to placing text naturally inside a larger scene. But this is where the native image generation really starts to shine. Just before announcing native image gen in GPT-4o, OpenAI actually teased it with this post. And Logan Kilpatrick, Google's product lead, jumped in, basically saying, look, Google already has this with Gemini 2.0 Flash. Which is true, but let's be honest, GPT-4o's native image gen still looks miles ahead. I mean, just look at this demo of its text rendering capabilities. I honestly couldn't believe this was generated in one shot the first time I saw this.
I'm Alan, I'm a research scientist at OpenAI. People tend to say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but being able to also render like a few words or symbols can carry like thousands of pictures, with a relatively simple prompt, like visualize an infographic explaining Newton's prism experiment in great detail with a wide aspect ratio and a dark blue background. So this is like an example where, one, we're going to rely on being able to render text in useful ways, combine it with visual elements that actually ground what this text about this experiment even means, and hopefully, help students who are more visual learn both through language descriptions of a phenomenon, but also, a visual imagination of what the experiment actually looks like. It's no longer just about making imaginary scenes that look aesthetic and things like that, but it's really about communicating and imagining and doing so at the same time.
So we've truly come so far with AI image generation in such a short amount of time. We now have native image gen, where the model doesn't just draw what you ask, it actually understands what you want, and pulls from its massive knowledge base to help you create it. And the best part, because it's native, it's already built into the same model you've probably been using for everything else. And this is really just the beginning. Imagine what native image generation will look like with GPT-5, or even GPT-6. So that's OpenAI's GPT-4o native image generation. You can try it out right now directly in ChatGPT or through Sora. And one last thing I should mention is that the content restrictions on what this model can generate have been significantly relaxed. I won't show you what some people are making with it because, well, YouTube, but let's just say you can find it pretty easily elsewhere, or test it out for yourself if that's your thing. Anyways, that's all for today. It's been a huge week in the AI space, and I've got another video dropping tomorrow covering Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro release, plus a couple other major stories, so definitely keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought about GPT-4o's native image generation. Is it truly a game changer, or are you not that impressed?